Alright, well, here it is. This is the red truth that I was looking for at the end of episode 4. Ushiru me beller, I will not kill you. You are all alone on this island. And of course, I'm not you. Yet I am here now, and I'm about to kill you. Well, let's just say that it can be possible we're talking about a completely different kind of death here than the usual. And I think that some of you may already know what kind of death we're talking about right over here. We've seen it throughout this story. If I did, I apologize.
いや、なぜ謝るのです。驚いています。そなたの的確な感想は称賛に値するでしょう。そなたはどうやら批評家か、あるいは推理小説作家の才能があるらしい。
Also, okay. Here's the thing, if I am talking about... Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush and say what I wanna say, because you probably have the same idea as I have, more than likely. We're talking about Balor over here. Balor, well, not Balor, but this person survived the Rokkenjima massacre. And now they are here. Well, now Hachijo found Balor. But that was in 1986. This is in 1998. And that makes you... at first it doesn't make you think, but this isn't younger Hachijo. This isn't 1998 Hachijo. This is 1986 Hachijo. It further proves the point that Hachijo is eternally young and beautiful. The one difference is that Hachijo does give off the vibes of a younger person. The way she speaks more excitingly, and it kind of makes her feel younger, like a teenager herself. A detective novel writer, a critic. From across the fog of oblivion, I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries, or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery. Fighting. My head hurt. I accepted the painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. I was told that the frequency of my headaches could be lessened by brain surgery, but also that there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikuko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can remember it, the real me is still there, slipping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches, and got used to my new life as Hachijo Toya. For 12 years. Okay. So, I guess this is a case of how Hachijo, our new Hachijo Toya here, could try to remember their old self, but the more they do so, the more pain they will feel. And so, that old self never surfaced up until 1998. And yeah, you know, okay, I might as well talk about this, but I guess the reason why, like, I gave my idea that if we were to find the second fragment of Leon having a happy ending, it would be someone that knows of what happened to Orkenjima, and one of them would be Beller. He would be the one to learn about Beatrice and understand her, and thus create a story with Leon. But that would imply that Beller never came back to Angie. So that doesn't really make sense. Well, I guess this is the answer. Gradually, my interest shifted from myself to Ikuko. So, dating someone? Hachijou Ikuko. A very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house, and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. Besides me, the only one she ever talked to was Byrne, an old black cat she kept as a pet. And damn it, I was like I was waiting for another addition to that, like her living with her second cat as well, Lambda Delta, but I guess that's not the case. I didn't know her real age. She didn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but she wasn't likely to meet anyone new leading an isolated life like this. Despite her insistence that she just hadn't met anyone worth the trouble, I felt as though she'd already given up on marriage. Her everyday life changed very little. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat, plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscripts she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she gave them to anyone else to read. A novelist is someone who writes novels for other people to read. So I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever read. Ikuko-san, when did you ever show these to anyone?
そなたには見せています。
Well, yeah, but besides that though...
無論、出来のマシなものに限りますが。
Have you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a shame for things to be this way, when your works are so interesting.
私の作品など、プロには通じぬ。一度送ったことがあるが、さっぱりダメでした。私には分かっています。こんなもの、素人の道楽です。
I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who is so well versed in detective novels from all times and places across the world.
大飯ぐらいが良き料理人になれるわけでもない。
Yeah, I get the point. Another good example would be that, hey, you're a good reviewer, thus you would be good at being the manager of a publishing company.
推理小説を読み散らすことが良き推理小説家であることを保証するわけでもない。そういうことです。だからこんなものは道楽に過ぎません。
Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone?
かつては楽しかった。かつては。
What about now?
そなたに感想を得ることが楽しい。とりあえず一章を書き終えました。
Yeah. I feel like I used to be like that in like the first days of me ever making videos to begin with. Back in high school. Like, okay. Obviously at first you're not gonna have that many people to watch you. Like when you start out. But it was fun making videos at the beginning of some random ass games and such, and well, like as long as I myself made videos that I enjoyed, like having fun by myself, that was nice. But after a while, you kind of think, well, if nobody watches this, then well, that's even the point. And I mean, no one. Like for like example, making this video private. Like, why? You wanna share this enjoyment with others. I'm not necessarily talking about having like one viewer or something like that. That's a completely different topic. Having like a couple of viewers versus having like multiple viewers and stuff like that. You like the enjoyment you make out of creating videos is also determined by how many people you create that entertainment for, like how many people you can reach, how many people you can make people laugh. That's part of the enjoyment of making these videos, like even right now. Like, I am glad that there are people that are um, watching these videos, these Umineko videos. Otherwise, if we only had like 2 or 3 people, like 2 or 3 viewers, then it wouldn't have been as enjoyable. Not gonna lie.
お茶を用意させるので、また読んで感想を聞かせてもらえませんか?
Saying this with a smile, Ikuko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. And when it comes to detective novels, reading and writing are the same. It's boring if you try to just do it by yourself. You want to get something really precious when you share the world with someone else. Headache.
どうよ? しっかり。今頭痛薬を。
I'm fine. Alright, let me interpret that headache for a little bit over here, cause I have like an idea. Like when they said like it is nice to share it with other people, it kind of sends me back to those moments when Shannon and Beller read murder mysteries together, and you know, it is admittedly more fun to read and talk about murder mystery books with someone else more than reading it by yourself. Although I'm not gonna say that reading by yourself is not as fun, but like reading by yourself is definitely more entertaining than creating something for yourself. Like you're still like when you read a story, you're still being teleported to a different world and connecting with characters. So there is enjoyment there, no matter how lonely you may feel otherwise. Like you're still connecting with a story and such. But you double the number of people reading a story, you double the fun. I'm more interested in this manuscript. So yeah, going back to what I was talking about, like it makes you think of Shannon and Beller sharing their stories, like murder mystery stories and the theories together, and that is what made this person, Toya, have a headache of their past self. I can't wait for the new chapter. And the seasons passed. Together with Ikuko, in this town whose name I didn't even know, I spent many days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unproductive days. However, I found satisfaction with my new life as Hajija Toya. Man, this is a nice place.
かようにして我が黒首島奇譚は幕を閉じるのである。
The curtain closes on the strange tale of Beatnik Island.
亮
With a dramatic flourish of her pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete.
どうであるか。そなたのプロットを生かしつつ、最後に辻子の秘伝をもう少し厚くしてみました。
I think it's very good. I think the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, so not just a reasoning puzzle.
東野のプロットがあればこそです。
Not just a puzzle, but also a moving end, kind of like episode 4. Beatrice gave Beller that last riddle, but it was also moving as well.
この作品の前には、私がこれまで書き溜めた原稿など、ちり紙の価値さえない。書きながらも、私が世界で一番最初の読者であることの興奮。こんな経験は初めてです。
I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. Before I knew it, she had roped me in as well, and I too had dipped my toe into the world of detective novel writing. Apparently, the old me had possessed some knowledge of mysteries and detective novels and the like. And my talents seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. Very unorthodox. I turned famous mysteries from across the world on their head, always looking to twist those ideas into something new. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a book. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. It was thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she had built up over many years, that my ideas were transformed into a work of fiction. The first work that we had offered together, The Strange Tale of Beatnik Island, had brought out the best of our individual quirks. And, though I hate to brag, it had turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame.
もしもし、書斎にシャンパンを持ってきてください。グラスはあなたの分も。これまでで一番の作品が仕上がりました。お祝いしましょう。
Ikuko called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joined by the servant who happened to be working that day, and the cat bird. We raised our glasses high and toasted our accomplishment. Ikuko-san, I have an idea, if you don't mind.
聞こう。そなたの話すアイデアなら、シャワーとトイレ中でなければ、いつだって耳を貸そう。
Yeah, why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read something this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it.
そうでしょうか。過去にもそう思い投稿しましたが、結果は。
I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you?
私とて、そなたの才能を確信しています。
Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut!
東野のメジャーデビューを祈って。
We clinked our glasses once more. The evening wore on. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikuko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the study, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was glowing. Outside, it had started... Computer? Kind of makes me question, like, when computers started being a thing. I mean, we're not talking about 1998 here. We're talking about 1986 or later. Would there be computers in the 1980s? I don't know. I guess I'll search it up like much later. It reminded me of the day Ikuko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I find myself wondering who I was. And I usually get headaches. So, I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Ikuko-san. Turn on the lights. Using a computer in the dark is bad for your eyes. No, I slept well. Thanks for that, I feel refreshed. I turned on the light and looked out through a gap in the curtains. As I thought, it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. Oh. Yeah, that's why you would have headaches. Now I just realized. And it's raining pretty hard out there. Ugh, well that sucks. Having headaches like each and every single time it rains outside. That'll be pretty bad. Like, raining is one of those times when you feel the most relaxed. And yet, our boy Hachijo Toya here just cannot relax because of the rain. The wind looks pretty strong too. I hope the rain gutters don't get clogged with leaves again. Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently, her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by the computer lately, Ikuko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something?
バカバカしいとは思いつつもなかなか面白いのです。ほら、例の六軒島事件。六軒島ミステリーの話は先日したでしょ。これが今ネットでブームになっているのです。それをめぐる議論や考察、中でも義書が実に面白い。義書というのは付近の島に流れ着いた後宮マリアの署名のあるボトルメッセージが他にもあったと仮定して書いたもので。
Only too happy to share her knowledge of the subject, Ikuko continued her explanation at length. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head would split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head. My head hurts. The Rokenjima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives that threw Shirumiya Kenzo's vast wealth and the hidden gold. And the truth. Shirumiya Eva, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually, the granddaughter, Shirumiya Angie, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day, would inherit everything. Angie. Shirumiya Angie. I am Shirumiya. Oh, good. My head is splitting. An incomprehensible scene pierced my eyelids from the inside like a blade of light. Just what am I looking at? Who are these people calling to me, but not by the name Toya? Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Ikuko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. I can hear the sorrowful sound of wind. And that must be rain. Who am I again? I am Ushiromiya.
エンジエンジ
お願いよ、返事をして。
Voices. Voices calling to me. And Dad. And Mom. It can't be them. In 1986, on Rokkenjima, Mom and Dad.
エンジしっかりしろ。お父さんの声が聞こえるか。
お願いだから返事をして。返事。
Mom. Dad. Say it out loud. Mom. Dad.
エンジよかった。
I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Yes! Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids had been open for a while. Oh my god. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light. And bit by bit, the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight, which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Mom and Dad. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. And there were tears in Mom's eyes too as she hugged me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. I was the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, and who always tried to do the opposite of what her parents said. And that was why they were holding me tight, to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. George Oni-chan, Jessica One-chan, Mario One-chan, my uncles and aunts, even Sakutaro. And then there was the witch Virgilia, and Ronoe, and...
Koko. そなたは幸運だった。偶然にも虚無の海の波間を漂うそなたを見つけたのだ。ひどい姿であったぞ。
Alright, well, thank goodness. Thank fucking Christ.
そなた自身がその姿を思い出すまでに随分と時間をかけた。ベアトリーチェ。じゃあここは
黄金鏡だ。ここでお父さんたちはみんなお前が帰ってくるのを待ってたんだぞ。
絶対にあなたは帰ってくると信じ。
Did I come home because I was supposed to? And then I returned to the form I was meant to have. And then...
いや、お前は帰ってきたんだ。
Although... Hmm...
そうよ。あなたが私たちのところへ帰りたいと願ったからここへ帰ってこられたのよ。お父さん、お母さん、 私は
今は何も言わなくていいわ。大変な冒険をしてきたわね。あなたは一人ぼっちで大変な冒険をしてきたわ。
これで分かっただろう。もう忘れないだろう。
I understand, Dad.
ここがお前の帰るべきところだってことだ。
When I gave that answer, Mom and Dad hugged me again. Tears fell onto my face. They were Mom and Dad's tears.
無事でとはとても言えない姿だったけれど、よかったわ。帰ってきて。
エヴァおばさん、
私のことをいくらでも憎んでくれていいから。だからお父さんとお母さんに100万回キスをしてあげて。あなたのことをいつも思っているみんなにもキスをしてあげて。
おばさん、
あなたのもう一人のお母さんにどうか。
Mom gave me a push from behind, and I stumbled forwards, towards my other mother.
エヴァお母さん、
エンジェち
あの日私がそう呼べていれば、私は何も謝ることがなかったかもしれない。私たちは新しい世界を二人で生み出せたかもしれない。
ゃん、もういいのよ。エンジェちゃんは帰ってきてくれたわ。だからもう何も言わなくていいのよ。
お母さん、お母さん、
おかえり、エンジェちゃん。あなたは私の可愛い娘よ。
エヴァお母さん、あなたはいつまでも、そして最後まで私の一番の味方だった。
The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces in the other's shoulders and sobbing. And I am tearing up here as well. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. In the first place, the truth is always in the past. The point of the future isn't to learn what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. How can there be any truth in a life not truly lived? Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in the past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. Now, I truly understand. This is what real truth is.
私は生きるわ。そしてどれほどみんなに愛されていたかを思い出したわ。
Because I was young and selfish, and didn't even remember until now. The kind grandpa who always spoiled me. The entertaining aunts and uncles. All the kind and gentle servants. I was always warm. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never even tried to retain any of those memories. Everyone was distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot how things were. Now, I can remember clearly, and I understand. It's true that the Halloween quiz party itself was an illusion. We never did anything like that. But there were all kinds of other fun things we did do when the relatives gathered. Things that were no more or less fun than that party. Okay. Yeah, this is nice. It's good that Eiji didn't completely disappear. She didn't actually commit suicide, or maybe she tried, and she even survived that fall as well. Although I guess one could question if maybe the fall in like at the end of episode 3 is the same as the fall that she did right here, and not two separate falls that she survived twice by miracle, and afterwards now she's thinking twice about her family. It is questionable, but nonetheless, Angie is still living. And now we shall move forward and see how we can fix all this. And for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles. To thank the cousins for always playing with me even though I was so selfish. And to thank the creatures of fantasy and apologize to them. I think I said something horrible to Sakutaro once in the past. Yeah, that happened as well. And to Marione-chan too.
マリアお姉ちゃんは本当の魔女だったんだわ。
マリアは最初から魔女だよ。エンジェだって一度はその領域に近づけたのにね。
うん、本当の意味で分かってなんかいなかった。かわいそうなマリアお姉ちゃんのかわいそうな魔法、そんな風にしか見ていなかった。だから私には幸せのかけらが拾えない、見つけられない。かつてお姉ちゃんは私にそう言ったわ。
仕方ないよ。宇宙は二人で作らないと生み出せない。マリアにはベアトがいたけれど、エンジェは一人ぼっちだった。
いいえ、もしエヴァおばさんをお母さんと呼べていたら、私は二人だったわ。きっとマリアお姉ちゃんと同じ魔法で私は新しい世界を生み出せたわ。
すべてわらわのせいだ。わらわが面白半分に投じたボトルメッセージがそなたの未来に歪みを生み、そなたを蝕んだ。わらわにもその責任がある。
まったくね。あんたのボトルメッセージのせいだわ。そのせいであんたの真似をした偽書を書く連中が現れて、どんどんおかしな話が膨らんでいった。
It certainly does make me think of the effects of those message bottles. Like, a part of me thought for a really long time that the reason Bato made those message bottles in the first place was, well, to create the illusion that a witch did all killing, thus protecting the family in the Golden Land, to protect them from the tragic accident, and more importantly, to not paint the family as a horrible family, to not be painted as a horrible family by the rest of the world. So when you create a witch with the possibility that a witch did all this, it protected the family in some way, in similar fashion to how the Eva culprit theory protected Angie for a while from the thoughts of the people that it was her parents that did it. Like the Eva Cooper theory protected Angie in that sense. So yeah, that's kind of how I view Beatrice's message bottles and, you know, her existence. That is how I view it. So Beatrice says that she did it for fun, but I feel like she did think of protecting the family, like after the tragedy happened. Though that doesn't necessarily mean that it helped Angie in any way, sadly. Cause I don't know, it kind of makes it feel like maybe you could think that if the message bottles didn't exist, then maybe people wouldn't have thought of the accident as murder. Maybe if the message bottles didn't exist, then people would have accepted much easier that it was just an accident. But when Beatrice created those message bottles in the form of, like, in similar fashion to murder mysteries, it made people think, wait, hold on a second, witches killing like humans? That's absurd. If we're talking about murder, then maybe it is something more human-like. So maybe that was the thing that started the whole witch hunter thing, and it made people think of this incident as a mass murder than an accident. Whereas if those message bottles didn't exist, then people would have accepted much easier that it was just an accident and nothing more. And thus, people wouldn't have talked much about the incident than just an accident, and thus Angie wouldn't have suffered as much with the thoughts of a bunch of high school girl bimbos talking about her parents or Eva in bad light because of this whole murdering thing. So I don't know, like I think that while Beatrice may have had good intentions in protecting the family, her message bottles may have created more harm to Angie than intended. Which, yeah. So yeah, that's how I guess that's how I view it as of now. One of the forgers wrote a plausible forgery that had Ushirumi and Eva as the culprit, which spread like wildfire. I should have known better than anyone that it couldn't possibly be true. But even I accepted it in the end.